and welcome to another grand, spectacular episode of Velvet Al Watches Movies So You Don't Have to. Some weeks I have a little trouble trying to pick what movie to do, because there are so many bad movies out there. But then there's other weeks like this, where I hear of a movie that I know I need to right away just do. And this week's movie is Titanic, The Legend Goes On. Or possibly The Legend of Titanic, depending. It's one of those movies with different titles. But yeah, I first heard about this, and it was because in an article about James Cameron and how Avatar 2 is going to become like the biggest movie of all time, higher than his Titanic film. Which, as someone mentioned, like, there should be a Titanic franchise. And apparently there is, well, it's not nearly really a franchise, because it's not officially related to the James Cameron film, but it says 1999, so I think it was made to cash in on the craze of Titanic. Anyhow, I'm burying the lead. It is an animated film and features a rapping dog. So, of course, I hear that. How can I not be like, well, fuck yeah, I am watching that movie. So, join me on my journey. Will this voyage be as disastrous as Titanic? I had to. I just had to. Okay, apparently, The Legend of the Titanic and Titanic, The Legend Goes On are two separate animated films about Titanic. And they're both on YouTube, so I don't know which one's which. I believe Titanic, The Legend Goes On is the one that has the rapping dogs. So, wish me luck that I watched the right movie, because I would hate to sit through a terrible Titanic animated film that did not feature a rapping dog. So we start off with the sinking of the Titanic, which I guess they figure, everyone knows that the ship sinks, so might as well just start off with it. And there's a bunch of people in rowboats, and the director must not know much about, like, film editing and all that, because I can't tell who's in what boat. It just kind of keeps cutting back and forth, and we get absolutely no sense of who's in what boat. And as far as I can tell, there's only two people rowing, Jack and Rose. I don't know if they're Jack and Rose. Is that even the names of the character from the James Cameron film? Because I'm just assuming that it's Jack and Rose. And we're going to go with it. And they seem to be the only ones rowing. But there looks like there's other people in their rowboat, I think, who are definitely not pulling their weight. I don't know if they're in the same rowboat, but they're definitely not pulling their weight because they're not doing any rowing. And yeah, okay, one's an old lady, so I'll give her some slack. She probably can't row because she doesn't have the strength. But some of these guys, I think they could handle it. Especially if you're all rowing. Like, that just... And the thing is, Jack and Rose, I was about to say Jack and Diane. Who cares? We'll go with Jack and Diane. Because it's going to be easier for me to remember. Because that is a fucking good song. And so Jack and Diane, they're, rowing. But they're on one side of the rowboat. So I hope there's someone on the other side also rowing. Because if you know anything about rowboats, and I know nothing about rowboats, but I know this, that if only one side is rowing, you're just going to go in like a fucking circle. And so now we see the ship sink, and people are jumping off to try to save their lives because they don't want to ship with the sink, or sink with the ship. And the old lady laughs. Wait, what? This is the time to laugh? No, fuck you, lady. Now I'm giving you no slack for not rowing. Because you fucking laughed. I mean, even the Dalmatians cried. Oh, did I mention there's Dalmatians? There's Dalmatians in the rowboat. Because someone thought it was a good idea to bring some Dalmatians with them. And they look like two of the 101 Dalmatians. So, if they die, if they drown, we are down to 99 Dalmatians. And a bitch ain't one. Dude, that's just right there. We've got 99 male Dalmatians because a bitch ain't one. I'm selling this to Jay-Z. And I think Jay-Z will respond, please leave me alone. So anyhow, the Dalmatian, one of them cries an actual tear. I don't know if dogs can cry, but this one does. And as just perfectly cheap animation, we reused the same shots like 15 times. Like the shot of Jack and Diane rowing, it got used at least 15 times. And it just keeps going back and forth. And I've seen these, like, it's just fucking stretching this. I mean, like, it's an hour and 10 minutes. And they're fucking stretching it by reusing animation. Which, you know, I mean, it's not a bad thing. Like the old Spider-Man 60s cartoon, that fucking reused animation. I think there was like about a 2 minutes worth of different animation used in that entire series. Like every time Spider-Man swung into attack, it was like exactly the same fucking animation, just kind of like at different speeds and different angles, but it was the same animation. And that is the trick that they are using for Titanic. Now Diane has a flashback, because, you know, this film's going to be in flashback, much like James Cameron's Titanic. All complete flashback. Well, I mean, technically not all complete flashback, because you still need the scene set in present time in order for something to flash back to, much like this film. You get great storytelling and film technique history lessons from me. And, you know, just listen to my podcast and you will be the greatest filmmaker of all time. So Diane is flashing back, and she's on the train, I guess headed towards the Titanic, and she's looking at a locket because she thinks she's going to find her mom, which I guess, I don't know, in America. So she's taking the Titanic trip to America to get to see her mom or something. But some old ladies, very mean old ladies, I think at least one of them is the fucking... Yeah, I think the one lady is the old lady that was laughing at the sinking of the Titanic. The fucking bitch. So she's just a bitch from all beginning of time, because she's all like, you'll never find your mother. And then these other old ladies, they're all like, ha ha, your mother. So they're like the Mean Girls, but old ladies. Mean old ladies. Which is a sequel that needs to happen. Sequel to Mean Girls. Mean old ladies. Because at this point they'd be old ladies. Well, I mean, Lindsay Lohan looks like one, because time has not been kind to her. Or more specifically, cocaine has not been kind to her. Now, people are boarding the Titanic, and some geese wearing church hats. I hope they pay off later in the film. I hope we get to see more of the geese. Because otherwise, what the fuck is the point of geese in church hats? I don't know. And the car almost crashes getting to the Titanic that's carrying Diane and her evil, mean biddies of step aunts. I don't know what relation they are to her. They're just evil, mean ladies. Fuck them. And they have an evil cat who just tries to trip over Diane, and she loses her locket. I hope someone finds it. I think it's going to be Jack. Wasn't there a whole storyline around the locket in James Cameron's Titanic? I don't know. I don't remember much about that film other than the fact that we got to see Kate Winslet's tits. And that alone makes it one of the greatest movies of all time. I'm guessing we're not going to see anyone's tits in this film. But you never know. You never know. I'm not going to completely rule it out. But then she sees some mice, and they've got clothes on. Which the geese don't. The geese don't have clothes. They have just hats. So are the geese naked? Because the mice are wearing fucking clothes. So the mice have the potential of being naked. So geese... I mean, if they didn't have the hats, I would just be like, okay, they're birds, whatever. But they have hats on! But no clothes. The mice have clothes. I don't know what's going on. But Diane sees a little baby mouse who's having trouble. Well, not baby mouse, he's kind of a kid mouse. He's fucking Fievel from American Tail. You know what? Fuck this. I might just go watch American Tail instead of finishing this movie. I have not seen that film in a long, long fucking time. But I love that film. That film is great. And the sequel, Five Goes West, also great. At some point in my lifetime, I will watch parts 3 and 4. Because for some reason, there are parts 3 and 4. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, so she helps the mouse, but the mouse is a little scared because, she's gigantic compared to him. So he's a tiny little mouse. Wearing clothes! Okay? I don't think I'm ever going to get over that. Which, I would have no problem with them wearing clothes. Like, okay, it's a kid's film. Fine, whatever. But the geese don't have clothes! And I would have no problem with the geese not having clothes if they weren't wearing hats! I don't think I will be able to get past that. Fuck this. I am taking a break to watch American Tail. No, I'm not. I will soldier on. My heart will go on like Celine Dion. Now we got a beautiful movie star-like lady. She probably is a movie star, but she is beautiful. And there's this creepy guy with a creepy mustache, who I will call Creepy Mustache. And he's leering at her because she is so beautiful. And then he notices a locket on the ground. It's Diane's locket. And he bites on it to make sure it's real gold. Which, I don't know, is that a thing? I know that's the cliche of, like, you gotta bite on it to know if it's real gold. And I'm not sure if, like, is it supposed to be, like, if you can actually bite it, it's real gold, because gold is kind of a soft metal. Or if, like, you break your teeth when you bite it, then it's gold. Because otherwise it's just chocolate. I don't know. So, I don't know if he determines it's real gold or not. And then in walks Jack. I think it's Jack. He looks like Jack from earlier. It's not his real name, but like I said, Jack and Diane, I'm sticking with it. And Jack comes in and he shows how great of a person he is because something or other, and he helps an old lady, not the mean old lady, a nice old lady, carry her luggage. And then we see the mice again. They're boarding the ship with their clothes on. And now there's this big bird that shows up. I'm not sure what kind of bird. Blackbird? He's black. I don't know. Not a penguin. I don't know. At first I wanted to say he was a pelican, but he doesn't have the big beak. And also he's black. I don't think pelicans are black. So he's just a blackbird who stole a pin from the mice. So it was a fucking racist movie that made the blackbird a thief. But he's wearing clothes, which now makes me really pissed off about the geese not wearing clothes. Other birds are wearing clothes. So the geese, they only wear hats. Someone arrest them for public indecency. And the ships... Oh, yeah, and then there's more racist stereotypes as a bunch of Mexican mice show up with Mexican hats. I don't know what they were doing, because... I don't know, like... The Titanic was going from England to North America, right? So why were the mice... Or was it the other way around? I don't know. They were going from one place to another. Whichever direction they were going, it was not going to Mexico. Or coming from Mexico. I don't know how these Mexican mice showed up. And the boat's about to leave, but last second jumps a detective. Complete Sherlock Holmes ripoff. He's got the hat and the smoking pipe. Which, I wanted to start smoking a pipe. I think it would make me look very sophisticated. And his plan was he boarded last minute because there's a gang of jewelry thieves. And he figures if he goes on last minute, it'll give him cover and they won't realize that, a detective is on board. Which I think he would have had better chance if, he didn't wear the detective hat or the detective coat or the smoking pipe or in any way resembled fucking Sherlock Holmes. That's just a dead giveaway, dude. Okay, so the mean old lady, it's Diane's guardian. And the other two ladies, who aren't as old as I thought they were, are her sisters. her adopted sisters. Would they be adopted sisters? I don't know how it works, because she's a ward of the old lady. And apparently the clothes weren't packed properly, and, the stepsisters are very angry, and poor Diane has to clean up the mess they made. I feel like this story's a little familiar. A mean stepmother. Guardian. Mean stepsisters. Adopted sisters. And Diane is basically a slave, living in third class. And they tell her she can't go to the ball because she doesn't have anything to wear. Oh, man. I can't place where that is. Where did I hear this story? Am I laying it on too thick? Yeah, obviously. They're fucking ripping off Cinderella. And Diane's upset because she realizes, oh no, my locket's missing. Oh, and then here shows up a mouse. A mouse. Yeah. Are we just gonna get, like, birds flying in now and help her? Oh my god, You know what? If she gets... Obviously she's gonna get a dress from someone. But if there's a fucking slipper involved, I am just gonna fast forward until the rapping dog, and I don't give a fuck what else happens in this film. But she gives the mouse a little morsel of food because the mouse is hungry. I don't know how she determined the mouse was hungry. She just did. So she gave him a little morsel of bread. Now, the mouse tells Mama Mouse all about poor little Cinderella. Diane. Whatever her name is. Dianorella. That's what she'll be. And how she can't go to the party. So maybe they can invite little Diane. I don't know, I want to now start calling her Cinderella because she's got the fucking Cinderella story. But that just might confuse you people. And, I really care. So he asks Mom, oh, can we invite her to our party? Which I hope happens, because that would be fucking hilarious. Like a little mouse party, and then you got a big human just there. What is she going to do, dance with the mice? But then a cat comes. And it's that evil cat from earlier. And he decides, mice, I'm going to eat them. But the mice get saved by, you guessed it. I don't know if you guessed it or not, but the rapping dog. And you know what? I'm just going to have to play you some of this rapping because I cannot do it justice. And I don't know, might cause me to get like a YouTube strike or something, fucking copyrights. But, does anyone even know this movie? So, I don't know. I hope if this episode isn't up, it's because of a copyright strike. But if that happens, then you won't hear this episode anyhow. But on to the rapping dog!
If it hadn't been for you, I would be now in someone else's digestion.
There's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind. Kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. I'll be busting the moves and I'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time, it's party time.
Was that just not fantastic? It's a Scottish dog, or a Scotty dog. I don't know, is it Scotty or Scottish? One of those dogs. And when we first see him, he's naked. Because this movie cannot make its fucking mind up on whether or not animals should wear clothes. But then he starts rapping, and suddenly he's got like the b-ball jam stuff, like the basketball jersey and the shorts and the backwards baseball cap. Because he is one fucking cool dog. Now we've got this lady who looks like the mix of Cruella de Vil and Phyllis Diller. And she seems to be the ringleader of this shoplifting gang of thieves, which there's only two. And they're bumbling idiots, so she's yelling at them because, that old cliche. And they go off and they try to steal stuff. And, oh boy, they're just bumbling along. And I kind of almost wish I didn't have to point that out. But they probably will build up in the plot later. They will probably factor in. Creepy mustache guy starts being creepy again towards the beautiful lady, who I think is an actress. I'm not sure. I've lost track. I'm not paying that close of attention. But her Dalmatians are talking to the other dogs on the ship. Because there's a lot of dogs on this ship. None of them wearing clothes. The mice wear clothes. The dogs do not. Except when the one dog raps. So, but they're talking to each other about, keep an eye out because there's some strange animals on board. They might be up to something. And they're going to keep an eye out for the locket because the mouse says, little lady, the one that's kind to animals, and probably the only person kind to animals here, she lost the locket, so let's keep an eye out for it. Meanwhile, Jack and Diane bump into each other. It's a little meet cute, and they're going to fall in love, if they haven't already. And now this mouse, not the cute little hero mouse that we've been with so far, but a different mouse, who's not as cute, and probably a little older. But he has a tiny little candle, and that is cute. And for some reason, his match that he uses to light the candle is regular size. So it's just kind of comical, like he's got this huge match to light a tiny candle. I guess they were aiming for comedy with it, and it didn't quite land. But he goes searching the ship, and he finds the kitchen, which I assume was his goal. And the cook notices the mouse, and he tries to stop him, but whoa, bumbling with the other chefs, and they run into each other, and bang, bang, and the mouse steals a link of sausages, which don't seem that big compared to him. So were these like just tiny little sausages, like those little like hors d'oeuvre sausages? Man, where are the big sausages for the humans? I would hate to be on the Titanic because of this fucking crap dinner service. I mean, that and the whole, like, the ship sinks. I wouldn't like that either. But at least if I had good food before the ship sank, then things might go down a little easier. No pun intended. Now, Jack's looking for Dianorella. I like that. I like that name, Dianorella. He's looking for her because, he's in love with her. And he goes to where the evil stepmother and stepsisters are. I know technically they're not stepsisters and stepmothers, but whatever. We're replaying Cinderella, and the prince is looking for Cinderella, and he doesn't have a shoe, unfortunately, but the stepmother is trying to get the prince in to do a threesome with her daughters. At least I assume that's what she's going for. But Jack does not fall for it, and he goes to, once again, find Diane. And then this little girl loses her ball to... I'm kind of confused. Like, it drops to the lower deck, and I guess the lower deck is, like, just kind of an evil place you shouldn't go to. Because this other kid, he catches the ball, so luckily it doesn't fall into the ocean, but I don't know if he was planning on stealing the ball, because he doesn't come up to give it to her. So Jack has to go down there, but everyone kind of gasps at him, like, oh my god, he's going to the lower deck. How dare he? Like, how dare he, like, mingle among the unclean, Fucking aristocratic society. And he sees Diane, but it's too late. She's gone. And Diane was talking to, like, a little old lady who also works in laundry or something. And Jack's like, who is she? Where can I find her? And she's just like, well, I must be going. Do you not know who she is? Can't you see this poor guy's hard-on is looking for this young girl? And you can't help them out. Now the beautiful lady is going to have dinner with the creepy mustache guy. Even though her bodyguard or agent or some guy, he's not too thrilled about it. because she's going with the common people. Even though creepy mustache guy I thought was not common people. But I mean, there's like whole like levels, right? The whole hierarchy. So he's probably like level B, and she's level A. So that's bad enough. But she's like, I will have a drink with him. And he gives her the locket. Diane's locket. Oh no. I think this will come into play later. And my guess, Diane gets the locket back, and beautiful lady claims that Diane stole it, and they throw Diane overboard. At least that's how it would go if I were telling the story. But beautiful lady, she's a singer, and she starts singing a song that, I mean, kind of sounds like the Celine Dion song, My Heart Will Go On, from the more popular Titanic movie. And Diane's on the deck, and Jack is there. He has finally found her after searching for like 3 hours, which is a lot. Searching for 3 hours is a lot, I think. And, you know, he puts the smooth moves on her, but she's all like, I don't belong in your world. But he belongs inside her. Oh yeah. He didn't actually say that, but that would have been the proper response. She should have been like, I don't belong in your world, but I belong in you, baby. Oh yeah. Now Diane is talking to the nice old lady. The nice old lady, not any of the mean old ladies. There's a lot of old ladies on this ship. Because, well, really only old ladies are going to be able to afford it, right? And Dianerella is all like, I wish I could go to the ball, but I don't have anything to wear. Luckily, this nice little old lady happens to have her old prom dress. Ball gown. I don't know what you would consider it. I guess a ball gown. It's an old dress. Her old dress. Why is she carrying her old dress? Which happens to be the exact same size as Dianerella. So, Dianerella is gonna go to the ball. Alright! Meanwhile, and then Dianerella goes to the captain of the ship and is like, I'm missing a locket. If you find it, please bring it to me. And the captain, I don't know if he's the captain, but it was the guy that was with the beautiful lady earlier. So I think maybe he recognizes, hey, that was the locket that creepy French guy saw. The Dalmatians definitely recognized it, because beautiful lady is in her room taking off her locket. And the Dalmatians are like, I wonder if that's the locket we're supposed to look for. Because remember, all the dogs are going to be on the lookout for this locket. Dogs are good like that. That is why dog is man's best friend. Because they will get together and keep an eye out for you like that. Meanwhile, the mice are also looking for the locket. And they're in the room of the evil adopted mother and adopted sisters. And they're rummaging through the underwear drawer looking for the locket. Which, hey, I've done that. I will admit I've rummaged through many a people's underwear drawer looking for a locket. Or so, that's what I say. But the evil stepmother, adopted mother, whatever, I'm getting confused because this is just fucking Cinderella, but with little plot changes, and I'm getting myself confused. So, yeah. You know what? From now on, everyone's going to be referred by their Cinderella counterpart. So this evil stepmother and stepsisters come back, and they see the mice, and whoa, and shenanigans as they all get scared and go whoa, and fall down. Now, the Dalmatians must have gotten word out about the locket, because the mice and the blackbird, all of who wear clothes, but not the Dalmatians, that just really pisses me off. I wish this movie was consistent. Is it just pets don't have clothes? So there's a difference between pets and just kind of the random... Because you would think that the pets would be the ones that could afford to have clothes, and the riffraff would be naked. I would think. I don't understand the world of Titanic. The legend goes on. But they come, and the Blackbird gets the locket while a beautiful lady is taking a shower, which I would have preferred to, focus on that. I wish the movie would have just... I would have been happy with an hour and a half of beautiful lady taking a shower. I don't care that she's animated. I don't care that she's a cartoon. That would be a lot more entertaining than what I'm getting. Which, bring back the rapping dog! That's what I want. Bring back the rapping dog. So they got the locket, but the bird's like, it's mine now. I got it. I ain't giving it back. And some, little riff-raff, and the mouse pushes the bird, and they end up in the room of Dianerella, and the mouse gives the locket back. Which, keep in mind, a beautiful lady does not know that the locket was stolen when it was given to her. So, from her point of view, her locket that was lawfully given to her has now been stolen by Dianerella. And so, beautiful lady is going to cause some shit. And since she's the rich one, I think, it's going to be on her side. Because it was creepy mustache guy who took it. Oh, and I want to mention that anytime there's an exterior shot of the ship, it looks like that was done in CGI. And the rest is, flat 2D animation. And it's kind of why bother? Why did you spend the extra money on a CGI model of the Titanic? Did they just happen to have that? They just downloaded it? They just had that in their collection? It's a public domain picture. What was it? Not public domain. What is it? Now it's going to drive me crazy. The fucking thing you go to search photos and, get, your generic photo, but you actually have to pay for it. So it's not really public domain. It's, help me out here, people. How can you help me out? Because I can't hear you. But, you know what I mean. Getty Images. Something. Fuck! I should be focusing on the plot, but now I'm gonna be stuck on what the hell those things are called. What is that database called? What are those type of photos called? This is what happens with terrible movies. You just get sidetracked. So, it's dinner time, I guess, and they're in the big dining room. And the detective, remember him? He's on the case. And he's undercover as a gypsy. I don't think I'm allowed to say that anymore. So, as a Romanian. But he's a stereotype. So, I feel to illustrate that it's a stereotype and he's being really fucking offensive, I'm calling him a gypsy. Undercover gypsy. And so, fuck what happened, because I'm still stuck on what the fuck you call those photos. Anyhow, the bumbling idiots try to steal someone's purse. It doesn't go very well for them. And creepy mustache guy is walking towards a beautiful lady. But the Dalmatians, they don't like creepy mustache guy. And, I can't fault them for that. So they trip the waiter so that the waiter spills soup all over the creepy mustache guy. And everyone has a good laugh. However, the captain, who's not in the dining room, he gets a message from telegrams or whatever however they sent messages back then. There's icebergs that have been sighted. Captain doesn't think it's anything to be worried about. A decision that will come to bite him in the ass. Now, beautiful lady, she's reporting that someone stole her locket. Oh no. But the show must go on. Her heart must go on. She must sing another Celine Dion-esque song. And couldn't they have hired the rapping dog to be the entertainment? I want the rapping dog back. Why did you... Stock photos. That's what they're called. They're called stock photos. Okay, we got that mystery solved. I'm happy at least we got that mystery solved. Anyway, the Prince Jack, he's looking around. He's all sad because he was hoping Dianerella would be there. And then he starts having flashbacks some of which couldn't possibly be his flashbacks, so I don't know if they're her flashbacks. The point is that they just wanted to reuse some animation to pad out the runtime. And then she shows up in her beautiful gown with the beautiful locket, which creepy mustache guy recognizes, and so does the beautiful lady. And she says that it was stolen by that girl. That evil girl from 3rd class stole my locket. But her bodyguard captain guy, I don't know. I'm not sure who he is in relation to her. But he's like, maybe the locket is back with its rightful owner. Because, hint, hint, creepy mustache guy, he stole it to begin with. And it looks like the thieves did manage to steal some jewelry. And unfortunately, it's fake jewelry. So, the lady whose jewelry got stolen, no big deal. She's not even going to press charges. Not that they know who stole it to begin with, but she's not going to have them investigate to find it, because it's fake jewelry, so who cares? Live life, love life, fuck jewelry. I like her attitude. Meanwhile, I guess beautiful lady is back to singing her horrible song. And Prince Jack and Dianorella are somewhere out on the ship. And they're talking and they're falling in love. And she's like, you know nothing about me. And he's like, nothing you can say will stop me from falling in love with you. Or something like that. And they kiss. And some old ladies are happy. And the animals are happy. And they're like, all right, let's go to our own party. Which I am hoping at this party, because one of the animals all happy was the Scottish dog. So I am hoping that he raps at the party. Please make up for the rest of this film with some rapping. I need some more rapping, dog. Now the evil foster family comes to yell at Dianorella for something. I don't know. I've already stopped caring. We're like halfway through this movie. I don't really care what happens. Can we get the iceberg yet? Just fucking hit the iceberg. Let the film end. Let them all die. That's too much to hope for. But the little kid mouse comes and he scares off the evil step family. And then we go over to the animals party, which is a lot cooler than the humans party. First of all, there's no, like, Celine Dion wannabe. It's the fucking mariachi mice. And the song's actually kind of catchy. I was hoping for Rapping Dog to come back, lay down a verse, but as long as it's not that fucking Celine Dion ripoff again, I'm happy. The thieves head over to their ringleader, and they're all excited because they got some jewelry. Like, oh, awesome. But the ringleader, she's like, you fucking idiots. This is fake jewelry. Lady, maybe you should go yourself and start doing this, because, I mean, if I were sent to steal jewelry, I'm not going to be able to tell the difference between real jewelry and fake jewelry. I'm a guy. It's not in our wheelbarrow. And now everyone's going to sleep, and Prince Jack walks Dianorella to her room and tells her, you know, nothing's going to make me stop loving you, and we will find your parents. And then he goes back to his room to jerk off. Okay, we don't see that, but I assume, you know, 'cause that's what you do on a first date if you don't actually fuck, and you drop the girl off at home. You go back home, and you jerk off thinking about the girl and how awesome it's going to be when you fuck her. Hey, you might look at me as a pig, but these are the fucking rules. And would you rather him fuck her when she's not ready for it and pressure her into it, or be a gentleman, drop her off, and then go home and whack off? It's the gentlemanly thing to do. And he's talking to himself and says that, you know, he's going to make sure that her life, she's not going to have a care in the world. Everything's going to be smooth and easy. Irony! Because, of course, what happens? The Titanic hits an iceberg. About fucking time. It's really, aside from Kate Winslet's boobs, that was the only, like, cool part of James Cameron's Titanic, was when the ship sank. Because, damn it, as much as I hate James Cameron, he is fucking awesome at directing action sequences. And that was just really fucking well done. Amazing. It was, like, the first, like, 3 hours of that movie. I don't know how long that movie is. Very fucking long movie. It's just like, oh, I hate this movie. Then the iceberg hits, and then you're just like, wow, this actually is a really fucking cool movie. I don't think animated Titanic is going to be as awesome in their depiction of the ship sinking, though. So, you know the drill. Ship is sinking. Celine Dion wannabe is singing. Like, oh, you know, like, if it isn't bad enough that, you know, you're going to fucking drown in, like, fucking Arctic Ocean, and not only drown, you're going to freeze while you drown. And the last things you hear is this fucking, like, Celine Dion wannabe. At least send the rapping dog out. Like, okay, at least my last moments on Earth are spent listening to a rapping dog. Which, you know, rap didn't exist yet at the time of the Titanic. Or maybe it did. We were wrong on when rap started. It started by a dog on the Titanic. And because he drowned, we never got to hear it ever again. And Diana, because women and children first on the lifeboats. So Diana there, and I was wrong. It wasn't Prince Jack that she's rowing the boat with. It's some kid. Which makes me even more pissed off than I was at the beginning of the film. Because no one else is helping row. And it's not just... It's not like a strong, able-bodied guy rowing. It's a little kid and a girl. I don't give a fuck that the rest of you are old ladies. Row. Carry your weight. You know, there's a bunch of you old ladies, so if you all work together, it's not as bad. Just, ugh. Like, I now want them to drown. And just Diana and this little kid are the only ones that survive. I'm going to close my eyes. I'm not going to watch the rest of the film. And I'm going to pretend that's what happens. And that'll be a happy ending. But I got to find out what happens to the rapping dog. I need to know his fate. So more ships sinking and it's falling apart. And Prince Jack manages to jump off with one of the kids. And what will his fate be? I bet he lives because this is a cartoon. But who knows? I still say Jack survived in Titanic. He did. I don't care. He just found his way out. I don't know. Did we see him frozen in that film? I don't know. I don't care. Let's just say he's still alive out there. And on the rowboat, Diana is telling the story of how the locket is the only thing she has left from her mom. And spoiler twist. Is it a spoiler twist? Whatever. Twist! The old lady that's in the rowboat with her is her mom. And I'm not entirely sure what excuse she gave to giving her up. I didn't quite pay attention. But I don't think there's any good explanation, because guess what? She raised Prince Jack like her own son. So obviously you were able to raise kids, just not your own. You gave up your... And does this make it kind of incestual between Prince Jack and Diana? Because, I mean, they're not related by blood, and they didn't grow up with each other, so it's not like, you know, they're even like step-siblings, even though they kind of technically are. But as Pornhub has taught us, step-siblings are A-okay to fuck. The animals have their own rowboat, and they're going on, and oh no, they think they see sharks, but it's just dolphins, so it's A-okay. Other than the fact I think I'd rather be with sharks, because dolphins are grade A assholes. But that's just me, and this is a cartoon. We can't go into how dolphins are assholes. Meanwhile, the humans, they see a body in the water. And they go to get it. It's like, is it Prince Jack? No, it's just the detective. Which, he failed in his job of finding the criminals. The criminals are probably drowned now, so, he sort of still saves the day, I guess. But then they find another body, and it's Prince Jack, and he's still alive after some CPR. Not CPR, Dianorella gives him a kiss, which is sort of like CPR, I guess. And it seems like the movie's over, but a voiceover tells us, wait, the movie's not over! You just have to dash my fucking dreams. But apparently we're gonna find out what happens to everyone. And I don't really care, but maybe we'll find out what happened to the rapping dog, because I did not see him on the rowboat. So, obviously, Prince Jack and Dianorella, they live happily ever after, they get married, blah, blah, blah. The mice, they had saved the chef, so in gratitude, he made them assistant chefs at his restaurant. Which I think this movie came out before Ratatouille. So, damn you, Ratatouille. I thought you were such an original, premise, but no, you fucking ripped off the ending to Titanic, The Legend Goes On. Which, by the way, watching a movie about a rat being a chef is way better than this mess. The Scotty dog, he doesn't go back to rapping, but apparently he's made junior detective because the detective solves the crime and he arrests the ringleader of the robbing crew. And the other two, the two guys, I don't know how they get away with it. I don't know if they made a plea bargain, but they end up marrying the wicked stepsisters because who knows why. I did notice we did not find out what happened to a beautiful lady singer, so I'm guessing she drowned. We also don't find out what happened to the captain, so he must have drowned. The blackbird, I don't think I saw what the blackbird, so he drowned, or more likely he flew away. The fucking geese that wore hats but not clothes, they probably flew away, but maybe they drowned. I don't know if there's any other major creepy mustache guy. I guess he drowned. Yeah, that's I guess about it. So yeah, needed more rapping dog or more Kate Winslet boobs. Either one I would have been happy with. So you know the drill, but it's presumptuous of me to think you know the drill, because this could be the first time you're listening to an episode of Velvet Al Watches Movies, so you don't have to. So, you can leave a comment if you're on the YouTube page, which is most likely, because I seem to get more views on my YouTube page than on the Spotify page. So, you can leave a comment in the comment section. And if you're listening on Spotify or any of the other podcast places, you can email me at velvetal@hotmail.com. Let me know how I'm doing. Or tell me that I should retire and that I should never make another podcast ever again. If you got a request for a movie that you want me to watch so you don't have to, the only rule is it's something I had to have never seen before. So if you request something and it's something I have seen, unfortunately I cannot do it. I could do it, I'm going to opt not to. Because I'm an asshole that way. And this is the part where other people would tell you, click like and subscribe and hit the notification button so you can get those annoying push notifications every time a new video is uploaded. And I say fuck that. You want to subscribe? That's cool. Go ahead. It does me no good, because I don't have enough subscribers or enough views to monetize this channel anyhow. So, I am not gonna, badger you into subscribing. Subscribe if you want. Forget I exist if you want. Either way is good. Again, in the immortal words of David Lee Roth, and maybe one day I'm gonna switch over my theme song to being I'm the One by Van Halen, but I'm sticking with Never Fuck with Catgirls by the Living Brain Dead because they're a local band, so I want to give them a little extra push from my 2 listeners. But in the words of David Lee Roth, I came here to entertain you. Leaving here, I aggravate you. Honey, don't you know, it's all the same to me. And with that, I am out. And I want to thank the Living Brain Dead for providing the official theme song for Velvet Owl Watches Movies So You Don't Have To. It's called Never Fuck with Catgirls, and you can get it at livingbraindead.com, which you should totally do. They are not paying me for this, so I shield them out of my love for the music.